As I said many times before the recession and during, it was the Federal Reserve System that created the bubble which caused the recession. That is because they put in $2.7 trillion into the world financial system, which had to find, that money had to be find goods and services to service. That means that America has been exporting its inflation to other countries, and that those other countries have had to buy up through the International Services Bank in Switzerland, the ISI, all the debt that America has created through inflating its money supply. And yet we are told that it was Labour's spending that was the problem. This is not correct. It was not. From basic statistics, I'm able to tell you that that was not the case at all. Firstly, though, let's talk about Labour's great mistakes. Labour got rid of the gold reserves under Gordon Brown from the Bank of England, but that was a joint decision between Bank of England and Gordon Brown when he was Chancellor during Tony Blair's premiership. The Bank of England does not have much faith in gold, and especially at that time, the gold at that particular time wasn't worth as much as it is now. Now I believe it's worth something around the range of $2,000 per ounce. With today's tax take being half of GDP, means that there is £1.7 trillion worth of tax take every year, which means that when you take into account the size of the defence budget, £40 billion, it does not, the money is there, right? The reason why there is no more money left is because the nations have had to bail out the banks, and the same fiat money system that the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England have used. Now, as I said before, the euro is backed by gold and silver, and also includes in its consumer price index fuel and food. This is one of the reasons why the euro countries, including even Italy and France, have done better than the UK. And Germany has posted its biggest quarterly increase in productive output and exports since reunification. David Cameron has to stop lying to the British public and telling them that it was Labour's spending that was the problem. It wasn't that there was too many people getting playpens for their kids in their local parks that caused the financial crisis, or that there were too many single parent mothers who were getting enough food on their table so that they could eat through the benefit system. What the problem was that we had to spend the same amount of money as a World War III scenario to bail out his banker friends, who then went and bankrolled the Tory Party into power. That is the problem. And the solution to it is to not be fooled again by Tory lies, right? And to start understanding economics. We must understand that those who hold the money, the banks, are the ones who have a great deal of power, not the ultimate power in this world, not even close, but I would say the university systems have a great deal more power than the banks themselves, because those are the people who train the bankers and also everybody else, including David Cameron and Tony Blair themselves, on the different opposite sides. Okay, now the problem is that people want to just have a quick solution and a feel-good factor of saying, yeah, well, it was the last government that was the problem, and it was that too many people were paying in, and too few people were paying in, and too many people were taking out. Well, yeah, too many people were taking out, but they weren't the people in the lowest social classes. It was the people who were robbing from the top. Now, I'm not a Marxist by any means, but I am a social democrat. And the fact is that in economics, the money supply is produced by the central bank, not the Labour Party, not the Tory Party. The Bank of England controls the economy, and the government simply controls spending. Now, the Bank of England has, over the last 10 years, has had a very good record on inflation. But in the last 51 months, they've missed their inflation target by 41 months. Now, inflation is now at 3.2%. But considering that we've just had the largest recession in world history, that's not too bad. Whereas where the blame should really be going is to the Federal Reserve System that created this bubble and Ben Bernanke. So check out my vid, is Ben Bernanke a guard dog or a wolf in sheep's clothing? Check out my vids on the Federal Reserve. Thanks for listening, and David Cameron, if you're listening, stop lying and understand that we understand economics out here, and that we're watching and making sure that people know the real truth about it. Stop saying that Labour overspent, and stop trying to cut the military budget when we're in the two major wars. Have a bit of patriotic feeling about your country. You're supposed to be the Prime Minister. If you're going to vote for anyone, I wouldn't vote Labour, I wouldn't vote BNP, I wouldn't vote Conservative, I wouldn't vote Liberal Democrat. I'd start your own party. Start your own parties now and get this lot out of power.